Well, I mean, it could be that. It could be a lot of things. You know what I mean? Like, one of the things is, did you ever have this happen? You probably haven't because you don't eat at this particular establishment. But every time I eat an Auntie Anne's pretzel, afterwards I feel like my face smells like butter. Have you ever noticed that?
Your face always smells like butter.
That's fair.
I mean, I feel like you use it as aftershave, do you not? You're a buttery son of a bitch. You buttery bastard. You'll just slather it on after a shave, right? Get out the straight razor, get it done, and then you're scooping into the crock of butter, and you're just rubbing it on there, right?
What are you wearing? Land O'Lakes. Sometimes if I'm feeling really zesty, I might use margarine instead.
Yeah, I can't believe it's not butter on my face because it feels like butter.
Go tell Susie and Jerry about new Imperial margarine.
It's a whole new meaning for the phrase butterface.
What's the old meaning?
You know what a butterface is, right?
Do I? I don't know. It sounds familiar, but I can't put my finger on the face.
This is what happens. You make me the bad guy. If you just knew what it was, we could move on. But now I'm forced to tell you what a shitty thing a butterface is.
Oh, okay.
It's like when you're talking about someone you're attracted to.
Okay, I like this so far.
Right?
Yeah.
And man or woman,
sure.
Doesn't matter.
Sure.
In my case, it has been women.
Yeah.
Over the years. But if everything's working for you, butterface. She's a butterface.
I got you. Yeah. Got it. Okay.
Yeah, you never heard that one before, huh?
I probably did, but I'd forgotten what it meant. So, yeah.
Well, there it is.
That's a good one. Butterface. It's appropriate then that I would slather my face with butter.
Yeah, you are a butterface in all the senses.
But nothing else is really working either.
No,
I mean, that's the whole problem.
Neck down, buddy. You are solid. It's all going good for you, neck down. It's really neck up where things start to go horribly awry.
Speaking of things going horribly awry from the neck up, we already have made a critical error in our last episode.
Oh, quite the segue, buddy.
Yeah.
Impressive.
Thank you. And by the way, welcome everyone to Confidentially Speaking.
A better way to fill the pores on your face with animal fat.
But we have to fix something. Like, we really have to clean it up because it was pretty egregious.
And you should do the heavy lifting here.
All right, well, we'll try.
40-year-old men are so often wrong, so here is our housekeeping song.
So in our last episode...
Hold on, 1 second.
What? Yes.
I have a note about the jingle.
Okay.
Taking that right at the top.
Yeah.
We've been doing this so long. Neither of us are 40 years old anymore.
No, it says 50 now.
It does?
Yeah.
I heard 40.
It says 50.
I heard 40.
It's been updated
Play it again.
for years. No, I'm not playing it again.
I heard 40. Well, you updated it?
We did together years ago, but I maybe you're singing 40 and I'm singing 50. It could be that. I can't remember.
Definitely be that. Yeah.
Yeah, but anyway.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry.
Point taken on the jingle. We'll the housekeeping jingle and another housekeeping.
I kind of. Fair enough.
Okay. But last episode we talked about we did a who would they play, and we chose this great actor who was in Scrubs and Seven and all these things, and we incorrectly labeled him as Ted McGinley.
Well,
when his real name is actually John C.
This is not
McGinley.
This is not the mistake as I see it, buddy.
What's the mistake?
We might have to housekeep your housekeeping.
Okay. Well,
there is an actor named Ted McGinley.
There is indeed.
And that's, I shit you not. I mean, I know, I could, hindsight is 2020 and blah, blah, blah. When I said Ted, I first said Ted Levine. I was the guy to call Ted Levine.
Correct.
And then I immediately corrected it to Ted McGinley, and then immediately corrected it to Ted Levine. So,
Okay.
But when I was thinking Ted McGinley, I was thinking about the guy who was in Happy Days.
Really?
And the guy who was in Married with Children. Like, that's the guy I meant.
You think about that guy?
I have.
Wow.
Especially when I was like wouldn't it be funny if Ted McGinley was the guy saying it puts the lotion on his skin? Like, that's what made me laugh out loud.
Got it. I see. Okay. Yeah. So we were
But
like,
then you started saying stuff, and I was
Yeah.
like, well, maybe he was in 7. And I've never seen a single episode of Scrubs. So I felt like I was, and then I was like, maybe I'm wrong. Because, then the
Okay.
Tito's vodka factor kicked in. And I was like, perhaps I have had one too many and am misunderstanding who Ted McGinley is.
got it. I see. So we were just not on the same page.
We were not on the same
You know,
McGinley.
we're still shaking off the rust from this.
No, we totally
time
are.
off
We totally
and everything.
are.
But so yeah. But I don't blame me certainly, and I don't blame you. But there is someone who's to blame here, and that's clearly the Screen Actors Guild. I mean, the Screen Actors Guild exists solely so that we have one name per actor.
That's right.
So that many actors have to change their name
Sure.
when they join the Screen Actors Guild because somebody else already has their name.
Absolutely.
But they're clearly not doing their job if there's all these McGinleys running around.
That's 2 major McGinleys.
I mean, and as we noted last week, I'm often wrong, always pretty much, right? And we noted that usually I'm off by 51 units of
Ish,
whatever
that's
it
right,
is,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
But this time I was only off by one McGinley.
Just one McGinley.
So I think I'm batting way above my average
No,
on
I
this
agree.
one.
I agree. Yeah, your
So-
margin of error is shrinking.
I'm not taking the fall for this at all.
That was a force McGinley instead of a force majeure. It was out of our hands. It was
But I have a little bit of fear because Ted McGinley, as you know,
a
is
McGinley
like,
too far. I don't think either of us are responsible for this.
that's right. I think, like in golf terms, we need to take a McGinley.
Yeah, yes, absolutely.
Take a McGinley.
Yeah.
And Ted McGinley scares me because he's like the Grim Reaper of sitcoms. You know what I mean? When Ted McGinley joins your sitcom,
That's right.
You're on death's door. That
Well,
thing is going downhill.
I think what
fast.
happens is McGinley is often charged to help come save it as a new character, something like this, and then it's too late. He gets there too late. I don't think he's the death knell.
Really? You
I
think
don't.
he's just
I think he
just makes bad decisions?
He's a salve on a wound that is too brutal to heal.
I see. He's the patsy.
Yeah, that's right.
So I'm blaming him when I probably shouldn't be, is what you're saying.
I mean, I that's my take on a McGinley.
And did it not start on this? I was thinking about this. Did he not start doing this all the way back to Welcome Back, Kotter?
I believe so.
He was like kind of brought in to replace John Travolta,
Whoa.
and you saw what happened.
I did.
So
I mean, the hair is close. McGinley, great hair.
Great, just handsome.
Top 10 all-time hair.
all over handsome.
And Travolta's a young Travolta also with hair that would not quit.
Yeah,
just wouldn't quit
for sure.
Like you couldn't keep it down.
Right.
You could only hope to contain it. and even then, I was like, what is the hat doing on this head?
Exactly.
You know what I
How
mean?
much aqua velva is there, or whatever aqua net? Sorry, aqua net is
Yeah,
there in the world?
Yeah. All right, so are we house kept?
I think so.
We
but
feel good about that. Apologies all around.
Yeah,
Thanks to
and
the Jingle Meister
That's
for
right. Shout out to the Jingle Meister for pointing this out. Thank you, Deacons.
bringing it like he always does.
That's right.
With a finger on the bridge of his nose and a correction to be had at all times.
And we love it. We need that.
Actually, no, we do love it. We need it. We need it.
yeah, we need-
I
clearly,
mean, whether I love it
obviously.
or not, we fucking need it.
We totally do.
We're gonna keep fucking shit up.
Oh, for sure. Somebody's got to be in charge of this thing, and it ain't us.
No doubt.
So yeah, I think we got that. Yeah. How are you feeling?
I feel good about it.
Okay,
I'm glad that we cleared the air.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that, we can move on.
Yeah. Please. Good Lord.
And yes,
Keep Ted McGinley away from the podcast.
that's
all
right.
I say.
The only little loose end to tie up is who did we cast? And
exactly
do we
right.
have to then cast the other one?
That's exactly right. That's
Right.
exactly right.
Yeah.
So who did we cast? I guess is the question. I mean,
I do. I have an opinion. I just listened. I think by the time we got to the casting part, we were casting John C. McGinley.
Good.
And no longer casting
Ted
Ted
McGinley.
McGinley.
Good.
So we can retroactively cast Ted McGinley, or we can just make one McGinley. Probably plenty.
but yeah, exactly. And I'm like I said before, I'm scared to have Ted McGinley involved because the minute we get him in here, it's kind of a death knell.
I kind of love a Ted McGinley. Though.
All right. Well, do you want to do it?
I kind of do.
Okay.
Who would they play? Who would they play?
Ricky Jay, Tina Fey, Marvin Gaye, and F.M. Ray.
right, so Ted McGinley.
Yeah,
This should be easy,
it should be.
but it ain't.
Well, he looks a certain way.
He does.
But
He
then
definitely looks
you
that
also
way.
have to take into account the level of performance you'd get from a Ted McGinley.
Exactly.
You
Like,
know,
how
I don't
deep
mean
do you want him involved
I'm not
in
trying
this
to.
thing?
I'm not trying to throw shade on a Ted McGinley. He's had a great career.
Yeah, it's amazing after all the shows he's ruined that he keeps getting work. That's the amazing thing about Ted McGinley. He can't get rid of the guy. It's like a fungus.
Maybe, and I'm just going to come in early. I'm going to come in hard. I'm coming in early, coming in often, coming in hard. What if we just also put him in the Ellis Lowe corral, and then they battle it out? Then it's McGinley v. McGinley, and we can wash our hands of the whole situation.
I love it. It's fair, right? It's very fair to both of them. We're not showing favoritism.
Fantastic.
I love it. Okay, welcome to the Ellis Lowe corral.
We did it. We did it. The McGinleys.
The McGinley twins are in there.
Okay, fantastic.
Good. Whew. All right, let's get down to the business of why we really here today.
Why we really here today?
Yeah. And today's show is all about we're going to talk about the scene where they introduce Bud White.
Bud White.
Right. So, and I got to tell you, I'm excited about the episodes we got lined up for the next couple of ones.
Yeah.
I think there's lots of juicy stuff in here.
Yeah.
It's explosive. It's fun. It's going to be great.
As a reminder, this is essentially the second minute or so of the film. We're just kind of doing it.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure we'll deviate,
Yeah. At some point we may.
but right now we're just
Yeah, we're
doing it the way we always did it. Which you'll get no argument from me about. I love it.
Yeah. It's whatever. It is what it is. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So, yeah. So Bud
Let's
White.
talk about our introduction to Wendell Bud White.
Yeah, and this is-
Officer Bud White.
We're coming right out of the montage. We've just seen Sid Hutchins typing up "hush, hush," and we see the cover of the magazine, all up there on the screen, and then we cut to this scene where we meet our first character. Oh, second, I guess we've already met Sid Hutchins. Now we're going to meet Bud White and Johnny Stompanato. So yeah, he's not our first character, but outside
No, we've seen
of
some characters, but the first shot of the big three.
Yeah, exactly.
Of our fellas.
Exactly.
And a tight shot right up in there.
That's right.
Right up in that car window.
and they get the little
Tight on
typewriter
that handsome face.
typewriter effect, and the type.
Yeah, that's right.
New York Times font comes up.
Officer Bud White.
Officer Bud White.
Yeah.
And I couldn't help noticing that he's in plain clothes, right? So he's a plain clothed
That's right.
policeman.
That's right.
Not a detective though.
No.
But he is a plain clothes cop. So he must have some seniority.
Yeah.
That he was able to get out of being a uniformed sort of
That's
beat
interesting.
cop.
It's interesting.
So he's definitely, and in the next the two scenes from now, when we see Exley for the first time, he's got a
Right.
uniform
He
on.
does.
So he's clearly less seniority
And
than
looks
Bud.
pretty darn good in it.
Oh,
I mean,
it's cut
you know,
well,
yeah,
you know?
I mean, he fills that thing out.
Except for the glasses.
Yeah, the glasses.
Yeah, we gotta lose those.
I don't know a single man in the department who wears them.
So there's Bud sitting in his police car. I don't know it's not a Prowler, which they talk about later.
No,
but
yeah,
it's just
it's just like an unmarked car.
unmarked car,
Yeah.
exactly. And he's staring intently at something.
He got a tip, right? That's the vibe I get.
Yeah, and
He got a tip.
in the novel, the tip comes from
I don't remember.
Johnny Stompanato. Yeah. The very first thing that happens in the novel is he's bracing Stompanato and finds out about this guy and goes, and there's like a chase scene that happens prior to this scene where he
I
kinda
don't
beats him
recall
up.
any of that. That's crazy.
Yeah, it's very early in the book. And the first thing we see is him and after the sort of the opening montage kind of thing is him and Stompanato.
I love it.
And he's getting info out of Stomp. Getting some good juicy tips. Like he likes to do.
Yeah, for sure he does.
Yeah. So he's staring intently at something.
Yeah.
And then we see the reverse shot
Boom.
of the house.
That's right.
And inside we hear screaming and there's some
Some not nice things going on.
Yeah.
In their living room.
that's right, some abuse.
Some abuse.
The house is
Some spousal abuse.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Why am I laughing at that? It's not funny. Not at all humorous. Nothing funny about that at all. Please forgive me. The house is well decorated for Christmas. They got some lights in the bushes.
Later, we're going to talk about human trafficking, and Bill is going to have a riot of a time.
Oh boy. candles in the window, etc. We got the sleigh and stuff on
It
the
is
roof.
very well appointed.
is.
Holiday decor on point for this spousal abuser.
That guy went
like
out.
likes to get the shit up there early. He's day after Thanksgiving. He's on the ladder. He's like, I just gotta kick the shit out of my wife, and then I gotta get these decorations up.
Again, not at all funny. There's nothing humorous about that at all.
But what a piece of shit.
Yeah, right?
Yeah,
Exactly.
totally.
We can't wait literally to see this guy get the shit
Well,
kicked
that's
out
what's
of
so
him.
satisfying about this introduction to Bud White.
Yeah.
Where we are all immediately like, yeah, fuck that guy, Bud White. Beat the shit out of that guy. Yes,
exactly right.
of course.
And it's amazing that the next, like the two scenes, certainly with Bud and Vincennes, and kind of the third one with Exley, but that one kind of stretches out into some other stuff. But like these first two scenes with Bud and with Jack, we have just a few seconds to really like understand their whole character, right? It's
right.
like, here we are, and we're just going to give you a little snapshot, a vignette that tells you almost everything you need to know
It's
about
impressive.
these guys.
Yeah.
It's really
it's
impressive.
like an economy of intake, and
Yeah.
and like it tells you a lot in such a little bit of time.
Right.
It's really impressive.
It is. It lays out sort of the bones, what you need to know
Right.
about those two characters, just
Right.
like that. And
Just
you're-
like
you're
that.
in.
Yeah,
And you like them both. You know, they're both like very likable guys right
I do.
off the
I
tip.
like them both.
Yeah.
I do.
So yeah, I was impressed at how quickly and with what economy they were able to sort of introduce the soul of these guys.
No doubt.
Yeah. So Bud decides he's going to take some action
That's right.
on our friend across the street there,
That's right.
and so he
I'm sorry. Can I
Yeah.
bring up my boy Stens?
Oh, I forgot
who's
about
in the back seat.
Yes, please,
Okay,
please
so
give
let's
us
not.
Stens.
Come on.
We can't skip over Stens.
No, I just like Stens is getting ripped in the back seat of the car, and he's like, and you know, he's a piece of shit. Obviously, clearly, like we find out later what a piece of shit he is. But
Yeah.
but right now, you just know he's a piece of shit because he's just like he's along for the ride with his buddy who likes to beat up spousal abusers. But he's like, could you hurry it up here? You know what I mean? Like he's impatient
Yeah.
from the start.
Yeah.
He's like, would you get this over with? And
Yeah,
he's
come on, bud. We
swagging
got to
off of
get the rest of the
we got to get the rest of the
booze.
liquor and
Yeah,
get to the
back
boys.
to the station. Yeah.
yeah. And but Bud is not deterred
Not at all.
by anybody or anything, let alone Stens from the back seat.
Yeah, and why is Stens in the back seat? That's kind of fun too. Like,
It's
is
more comfortable.
he is a man with a certain carriage. You know, he needs a little bit of room to kind of. I don't know
He's
if that was a bench seat up front or not, but you know,
He's a payload.
Yeah.
He needs to. We got to get him in the bed of the thing. That's where the weight should go, in the back for ballast. You know, you got the engine in the front. You
That's
got
right.
Stens in the back.
Rear-wheel drive car with
That's
the
right.
engine in the front. We
Yeah.
need something to keep those wheels down.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, and if
Little
God forbid
traction.
it snows, Stens is getting in the trunk because we really need the weight as far back as we can get it. So that I just wanted to. So Stens is part of this scene in,
For
in
sure.
a lot of good ways.
Yeah,
so
love Stens.
So okay, and then
And not only does he encourage Bud to get moving and to get off of this thing, right? He's taking a swig of a little bottle of what looks like whiskey to me.
it's definitely whiskey.
Yeah. And he enjoys that. And then I noticed later
He does. It's
he
true.
gets the pinky up
No,
and
he
everything.
does. He's very happy. Backseat sipping is the way to do it. I'm a big fan. I like it myself.
Do you?
I do.
Well, next time we go out, maybe that's what we should do. I'll put you in the back seat like Stens, and you can sit back there. And
I don't know, man. The backseat of your Fiat less comfortable than the bench seat of that massive whatever car that
that's
was.
for sure. That's a good point. Yeah. So okay.
Yeah. No, but I mean, I'm happy to sit next to you and drink
Okay.
if that works.
That'll
for
work.
You.
Sure.
I
I
can
like
make
that
work.
better,
I'll
actually.
make that adjustment.
Okay. Thank you. And I couldn't help, while I'm on the whiskey, I couldn't help but notice that Stens has a drink in both hands, right? So he's got the whiskey in the one hand, in his right hand. In his left hand, he's got a bottle of Coke. Did you notice that? So he's doing like a whiskey and Coke,
Yeah.
but he's mixing them inside.
He is.
Instead of having it mixed on the outside.
Who among us has not had the time to get out the shaker, get out the rocks glass, what have you? I'll just mix that on the way down.
I've never done that.
No need for pre-mixing. I got a mixer right in here. I'll just gargle this before giving it the old heave-ho down to the gullet.
Have you done that really?
I have.
Does it work?
Or like I have had I'll just drink something straight and then immediately I'll follow it with the next thing I can find if
Like a chaser.
if I need to chase it. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
No, I've never done that.
I don't make a habit of it, but
Yeah.
sometimes it's not bad.
Okay.
Sometimes it's what you got to do.
Yeah. Well, I'm
You
not
know?
going to be judgmental of Stensland. A man of such high honor and esteem. Richard Dick Stensland. So anyway, yeah. So Stensland says, "Come on, Bud, let's get back to the station."
Yeah.
And then I think Bud makes a call to headquarters.
To headquarters.
So he picks up
To the watch commander, presumably.
to somebody.
Yeah,
The
or dispatch.
right?
Yeah.
Somebody picks up the thing,
We both said dispatch.
picks up the radio, right? And he says 6 Adam 7.
Yeah.
Send a prowler to 4612 Evergreen Terrace. The guy is
Right.
beating his wife or
Right.
whatever. Yeah.
And he says
Domestic
something funny
excuse.
at the end, but I can't remember. What is it?
Well, he
like?
says
It's
yeah, they'll see him, but
They'll-
we won't be here.
we won't be here, but they'll see him.
Yeah, we won't be here, but
He's
they'll
like,
see
I'm
him,
going to
yeah.
leave this motherfucker in a place that is going to be impossible to miss.
Right, exactly.
I love it.
Yeah, I like that. And I did a little bit of research on the 6 Adam 7 thing, which I thought was kind of interesting.
Lay it on me.
I'm trying to
Give it to
find
me.
it in my notes, even though for
And
some
let
reason
me hear it.
I don't see it. So I guess I'm just supposed to remember.
Dish the dirt.
The call sign. Here it is. So it could mean a couple different things. So it depends on like which police precinct or city or whatever you're talking to,
Right.
how they do their call signals.
Okay.
So it could mean different things for different places.
Okay.
But it could be like 6 Adam 7 could signify 6 could be like the district or
Right.
sector.
Right.
Adam could be the unit identifier.
Unit
Those
identifier.
guys are like in unit A,
Right.
or whatever.
Right.
And 7 could be the specific car number within that unit.
Aha.
Yeah. So 6 Adam 7
6 Adam 7.
gives you like a geographic location, and it also tells you who is calling in.
Fascinating.
Yeah.
Okay. That's helpful, Bill.
Is it?
I appreciate you. That's some helpful information.
Thank you. And
Where this has been in popular culture in elsewise places, like
12
right?
Adam 12.
Adam 12.
12 Adam 12 used to be their call.
7 Mary 3 was a terrible pop rock band back
is
in
that
the
right?
day. Yeah.
Oh, I like that. Okay. Yeah.
And when I say terrible, I mean terrible.
Oh.
But it's from something. 7 Mary 3 is like the Chips one, or
Oh, maybe. Because I know.
him.
Yeah, I know 12 Adam 12 was the Adam 12 one.
You know what we need?
What do we need?
We need an intern
What?
to be looking shit up while we make the make 'em ups.
Yeah. And to correct us as we go.
Yeah. Yes.
But I guess, okay, I may have this out of order. So maybe before he does that is when Stensland says, or no, I guess so Stensland says, come on, Bud, forget about it, let's go. And then Bud says, guy's been out of queue 2 weeks. Right?
Yeah.
And he's already like back to hitting his wife, which was probably why he went to Q in the first place.
Yeah. I mean, who knows? But probably, right?
Yeah. And Q, of course, is short for
Quentin.
San Quentin.
San Quentin.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I have some tasty tidbits on San Quentin prison,
you now?
which I will happily share with you at
That's
this time.
what we call coming correct. That's nicely done.
Thank you. So San Quentin State Prison was established in 1852 and opened in 1854. It's the oldest prison in California.
Wait.
What?
I know you hate this because
What?
this couldn't be further from interesting. But like, what do you mean established 2 years before it opened?
I don't know.
Like, what's
Like
the
they
2 year
started-
establishment process?
I guess they were like, okay, we're going to put a prison here.
Is there like a soft open? they could try keeping prisoners there a few times over the years.
Maybe they had the prisoners build the prison. And so they were like keeping them there while they built this giant prison. And then they had the party and the grand opening and, people brought flowers and that kind of thing.
You got to see if the prison works before you open it.
Exactly.
Right?
It's like an out-of-town tryout.
It's a preview.
Yeah, it's a preview.
Yeah.
So, yeah. It's the oldest prison in California, and it's the state's only death row for male inmates. And it's the largest in the United States. The largest death row, that is.
Largest death row is at Quentin.
Yep.
Huh.
The prison sits on Point San Quentin, which it consists of 432 acres on the north side of San Francisco Bay. So it's quite a bit of a trek from L.A. It's way up north of San Francisco. So it's not like a local L.A. prison. This is like a big statey place.
Gotcha.
Right? Yeah. The prison itself occupies 275 acres, and it was valued in 2001 at having a value of somewhere between $129 million and $664 million.
Wow.
If you want to buy yourself a prison.
That's quite a discrepancy, though.
It really is.
Couldn't
It's
they
a
get
range.
those numbers closer? Like what's happened? Like what's the $1 million version of it?
I don't know. I wonder if it's like, it depends on who's incarcerated at that time. So if you have more like white collar workers, the value goes up. If you have more blue collar criminals, then the value goes up.
There goes the neighborhood. There goes the cell block.
Geez, our cell block values are going way up. They got that guy in here.
We could sell now and make a fortune. We got a ton of asshole white guys on this cell block.
I just got to get myself back into solitary. Make a mint. And as of July 31st, 2022, so that was a couple of years ago, San Quentin was incarcerating people at 105% of its design capacity.
Oh.
So we're double bunking, we're triple bunking, we're putting people in
too much.
putting people in bathrooms. I don't know where we're storing. Putting
I'm
them in
no
closets.
activist, but that doesn't seem fair.
I don't know where we're storing all these guys.
What are we doing?
And gals,
What are we
but
doing? We're
I don't
stacking them
know.
up.
I guess we are. Yeah,
Half of them probably shouldn't even be there.
Probably. And there were 3,239 occupants at that time.
It's a fucking racket, Bill.
Yeah.
It's a goddamn business.
It is.
It's a business.
Yep. It's heartbreaking. As of 2001.
Okay. We got more on Quentin.
We do. San Quentin's death row was described as the largest in the Western Hemisphere. And as of 2005, it was called the most populous execution antechamber in the United States. That's the nice way to say it.
I mean, that's something to hang your hat on, right?
Execution.
Look at this, boys.
Antechamber.
Execution antechamber, like the biggest known to man. What?
Even though they haven't been,
that is fascinating.
they haven't been executing people in California for a while, but
Right.
But they certainly
They
did.
still have the antechamber.
They do, yeah.
I mean, you
It's
never
still-
know how the
and
laws
those
are going to
guys,
swing.
Yeah, and those guys are still there till they die. They're not getting out.
That's
So,
for sure.
The last thing I'll tell you about, the death row at San Quentin was divided into 3 sections. There's the quiet North segregation,
Sure.
also known as North Seg.
Yeah. Love it. That's where all the cool bars and restaurants are.
Very quiet residential area up there. You know, it's real nice. That was built in 1934 for prisoners who didn't cause trouble.
That's right.
Yeah,
They get the quiet,
exactly.
They get the quiet.
They get rewarded for being a good boy.
I guess.
Yeah. There's the East Block, which is a crumbling, leaky maze of a place built in 1927. That's where most of them wind up. And then there's the final part of it.
That was my apartment listing. Said that verbatim. Verbatim said that very thing.
And I like too. This it's kind of like Eastern Bloc countries. It's
Yeah.
the East Bloc.
No, yeah,
You know what I mean?
it's
kinda
crazy.
like- yeah, crumbling, leaky maze of a place. And then there's the final area is the Adjustment Center, which is for the worst of the worst. And the Adjustment Center included solid doors on the cells, preventing what's called gunning down.
What's called gunning down?
Yes. You know what gunning down is?
I mean, I'm using my context clues. Do I know what gunning down means? I think so. Don't I?
Maybe it's better I don't tell you.
I think I got a handle on it. But say it anyway for the people.
Oh my God. Gunning down.
Yeah, gunning down. Solid door. No gunning down through this motherfucker.
It's gunning down is attacking persons with bodily waste.
Yeah, I was gonna say like Silence of the Lambs.
Yeah, slinging
Right,
feces
slinging
or whatever.
feces or
Yeah,
semen through the bars.
correct.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, you got it.
That's what I thought.
You got it.
That
You
is what I
nailed it.
thought. That's what I thought.
Yeah.
I don't even like a slatted door for those reasons. Like if you're good enough and diligent enough, you could get some stuff through those slats. That doesn't, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, let's just go ahead and make it solid, everyone.
Yeah. The slats, it's like a 50-50.
It's
you
right.
know what I mean?
Yeah. If you're nimble, maybe you got a
Right.
shot. Gives you an outside chance.
And if you have built up enough waste in your cell, you could have you could be like a machine gunning down. You
Well,
know what I mean? You could just take a bunch of shots.
It's supply and demand, right?
That's
I
right.
mean, you got it, but no one wants it.
Well, you know,
So you're gonna have plenty.
you're gonna miss 50% of the shots you don't take, or whatever. 100% of the shots you don't take. So
Yeah,
you
I
might
think it's
as well
100%. Yeah.
49.
That was. You're like 51 units off.
That's right. Okay.
Yeah,
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is what it's like to stay at Stan Quentin prison.
that's good stuff, man. I'm gonna backtrack before we go forward.
Please do.
7 Mary 3 was John Baker's call sign on Chips.
Good job.
I think I
You
said
knew
that.
it was
Did I say
Chips.
that?
Yeah, you
Okay.
said that. Very
But
good.
shame on me. I remembered it as the fucking terrible band first, but then I was like, no, wait, that's John Baker.
There you
7
go.
Mary 3 and 4. John Baker was my guy.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You didn't like, what was Eric Estrada's
I was
name?
like, you smiley bastard. John's doing the work. That guy's just smiling. He's just a charmer. John was the one always like whenever some shit actually needed to get done, John Baker did it.
Well, what was? Do you remember what Eric Estrada's character's name was? Poncho?
Poncherello.
Poncherello, right.
Yeah.
But he had Riz,
John
man.
Poncherello.
He had Riz.
What does that mean?
Riz.
Charisma.
Yeah,
That's
he
right.
had
We
the
did go
Riz.
over that. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's got Riz.
Yeah.
You know, he did. But like so many people with the Riz, they lack the requisite work ethic to be worth a good goddamn. Like a John
Yeah.
Baker.
They rely on the Riz.
They rely on.
Yeah, that's what they do.
Solely in Poncherello's case.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel that.
Yeah.
I've been carrying guys with Riz for years. You know what I mean? I know what you're talking about.
I think Bill's talking about me.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. No, you are carrying this. And I thank you for it.
Today only.
I mean, that even is arguable, but I know it was my premise. That's on me.
So, yeah. Okay. Are we back to the scene?
Bud is getting out, right? That's
Yeah,
where we
yeah.
left off.
Send a
Yeah,
prowler.
That's right.
Send a prowler.
And then with authority,
Getting out of that
and
car.
purpose,
Yeah.
he gets out of that car.
And he's really like sizing up the house.
And he does a little thing where he stands in the walkway in view of the guy. No, after I'm sorry. First he rips down.
Yeah, he gives
the-
it a good
the
look.
decorations.
Gives it a good look to see how he's going to get this guy's attention.
Yeah.
And then he decides to yank the
Yeah.
sleigh off of the ceiling.
Why not just knock on the door? No, I guess if you rip the thing off, right, the guy comes out spoiling.
Yeah.
And then it just gets to the ends that Bud needs quicker.
And it could be more mysterious too. Like the guy doesn't know. He hears a sound,
He's
something is
disoriented.
weird.
He doesn't know what's going on.
Exactly. A little element
Could
of
be some
surprise.
punks. Yeah.
Yeah. Doorbell is going to be more like he might have his
No, that's a good point.
his hackles up a little.
You're right
bit,
about
you know?
that. You're right about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's I thought it was interesting when he rips down the decoration. There's the sound effect of bulbs, like glass bulbs smashing on the ground, which you would think they would have had glass bulbs back then in their Christmas decorations.
Sure they would have.
So I like that.
Yeah, it's good. It's authentic.
Crashy smashy,
Crashy smash.
and it makes a big loud noise to make the guy come outside.
That's right.
Yeah, I love that.
And so as Bud like sets himself after he rips the decorations down, he gets his stance, gets his feet under him, he does a little hands in his pocket, and then he does a little hip sachet, and he's really centering himself,
Yes.
ready to do the thing he was born to do.
Yeah.
And then he does it, and the guy comes storming out.
Yeah, and just before, I just want to go back a tiny bit.
No,
if I
please
may.
do, please do.
Just before Bud rips down the decorations,
yeah.
we hear from inside the house the following dialogue from the guy, right? It's
classic.
And I quote, "Quit whining. Quit your whining all the time. It makes me sick. Shut up." There's a little dramatic reading for you.
No, that's
there.
well done. That's well done.
Yeah, just like how he does it in the movie.
It's good. It's good.
Yeah, and I'm assuming that was improvised, but we don't know, right? I mean,
We don't know. There are moments where an actor will just be like, just give me something to say.
yeah,
And they might have given him that.
he might have. Yeah.
They didn't do
Or
him
he
a lot
could've-
of favors with that one, but it's a throwaway. Mostly.
It is. Yeah, you can barely hear it. Actually, you have to
Yeah.
really kind of pay attention
Yeah.
to pick that up.
Yeah.
quit your whining all the time.
All the time.
Makes me sick.
It makes me sick. That's the part where I'm like, we could have done better than it makes me sick. Right? Couldn't we have?
I think we could have.
Yeah.
I mean, there could have been something more. I guess maybe they didn't want to make it too threatening. You know, he didn't want to say, I'm going to kill you or
Yeah.
something like that. You know what I mean? So,
Here's how I would have rewritten.
ooh, I love this. Bring it on.
Hilma?
Oh, no.
I got him.
Oh, no.
I got him. I knew I was going to get you with that one. I knew it.
Do we have to explain that? Because it's a long story.
It's a super long story. We can move on.
Hilma?
Just no, Hilma, I told you.
We talked about this now.
Thought I was done talking about this.
Well, we'll go back and clean that up at some point, maybe. And then have another housekeeping or something. I don't know.
Consider that a bracken.
Yeah,
and then
that's-
we'll pay it off at some point.
Yeah, that's good. I love that. Okay, so hold on to that for a while.
Yeah.
Okay. It probably won't pay off.
No,
but
it
that's
will.
okay.
It totally will.
Okay, good.
Totally will.
Okay, so Bud pulls down the decorations, the bulbs shatter, the guy comes out, Bud gets himself ready, hands in pockets and little hip action there. He's all set and ready to go.
Yeah.
And the guy comes out, who in the hell are you?
Yeah.
And what does Bud say?
Why don't you dance with a man for a change?
He says one thing before that.
Oh, does he?
Yeah.
What does he say?
Goes to Christmas Past.
Goes to Christmas Past. Right.
The
Right.
best.
Yeah. No, that's great.
It is great.
It is really great.
I was struck because it's like it's funny, right?
It
so we
is.
know that Bud has like this a smart, because it's not like, I mean, who's pulling Ghost of Christmas Past?
Okay. I'm
all
with
of a
you on
sudden?
this.
A smart and literary reference, right?
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
So it's
Dickensian, but
Dickensian, but
nonetheless
not as dumb as you think. The
No,
guy's at
yeah,
least as
right,
familiar with
right.
Dickens and with
that's
Christmas
that's
Carol.
the thing about Bud, right? Like
Exactly.
everyone always underestimates the smarts.
Yeah, Ghost of Christmas Past right there proved to me he's pretty fucking smart.
That's a good point you make there, Billy.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And then he leans in with "Why don't you dance with a man?"
Dance
for a
with it,
change.
which is just like cool guy shit. Like
Oh,
it's
yeah.
not like that. It doesn't indicate any intelligence necessarily, but it's fucking cool. That's
Very
some fucking
cool.
cool shit to say.
And it's challenging the guy. You know what I mean? This is
Sure.
like silverback gorilla mentality stuff here.
Yeah, that guy knows what's coming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like, bring it,
Yeah.
motherfucker.
Why don't you dance? I mean, it's so fucking perfect.
It is
Why
good.
don't you dance with a man for a change?
Yeah.
It belittles him. You know what I mean? Like it just everything you want in a start the fight sentence.
Yeah. It emasculates him
yeah.
because it's like dancing with a man.
Exactly.
You know
yeah,
what I mean?
that's
Yeah.
all of that.
Yeah, it's
right?
great.
Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bud White
And then Bud just beats the shit out of him.
just kicks his ass.
The guy
and
gets
in
one-
short order. He does his like
Yeah.
his like two moves. The guy's been beat across the face and handcuffed to the railing.
Yeah,
and
guy
it's
gets
over.
one swipe in, misses badly with a roundhouse,
Yeah.
and then down he goes.
Yeah.
Which is all Bud needs is one little opening. You
That's
know what
it.
I mean? Yeah.
That's it. And that guy's an oaf and probably drunk.
Totally.
And, and Bud's Bud White.
Bud White is a badass.
A badass.
And that's what we see here is he will kick the ass of anyone who comes up to challenge him.
Yeah.
And even if people who don't challenge him.
And I think we've already discussed it's a rage born of an old ancient hurt and pain that still lives very much alive in his chest.
Yeah.
Like, and it unleashes all the things he needs it to unleash in the moments where he can like sort of continue to try to rectify that trauma.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And like you said earlier, we are on Bud's side here because this guy is a piece of shit. He's beating his wife.
Totally.
And Bud is in the right
Yeah.
to stop him from doing that.
Yeah.
And so we are, no matter how brutal Bud would get in this scene,
Yeah.
we'd still be on his side.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, this is a very...
Well, I mean, he says, "Do you know what they do to kitty rapers in Quentin?"
He
like
does.
he's like he gets pretty dark.
He does get pretty dark.
Yeah.
But
And we're still like, yeah, fuck that guy.
Yeah. But he doesn't, like, the guy's not really bloodied. Like, Bud could have gone a lot further.
Oh, for sure.
And broke his arm, done whatever. You know what I mean?
For
With,
sure.
with impunity.
For sure.
And we'd still be like, yeah,
For
Bud,
sure.
give it to him.
Yeah.
So, it's, I like how it sets, because we don't know who Bud White is at this point in the movie, right? We just saw his face and we see what he's doing. Oftentimes the villain is the first person introduced in a movie. So
Right.
how do we know he's the good guy?
We don't.
We don't until we see him beat up a bad
And
guy.
then we know. Yeah.
Yeah,
Then we know.
exactly.
Yeah.
So I love the scene for, like you said before, the economy of how they set all this up.
Totally.
And like you said, the thing about the protecting of women is beautifully illustrated here without talking about it.
Right. Right.
And we get it right
Show,
away.
don't tell.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
yeah,
Show, don't tell. And
yeah.
we totally get it. We don't know the whole story yet.
Yeah.
But we understand that there's something there.
Yeah, that's a thing, right? I mean, even if you weren't chained to a radiator and watched your father kill your mother, you probably hate a wife beater.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
if
exactly.
you're in our audience,
That's
you're
right.
probably like, yeah, I don't care for those guys.
Exactly. Yeah,
They're
it's
not-
one of those things inherently wrong.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it feels universal in some ways,
Yeah.
or should be. you
Yeah.
know?
Well, it's just most usually it's because there's a bully or whatever,
Yeah.
or someone who's taking advantage of another person. And
Yeah.
that's not, we don't like that.
We don't like that.
No.
You're right.
And I do.
Hard pass.
Hard pass. You just reminded me of something I wanted to go back to. Sorry, I'm jumping around again. But early in the scene,
I love it.
From the back seat, Sten says to Bud, "You're just like Santa Claus with that list,
With that
Bud.
list, Bud, right?
Except
right.
everyone that's on it has been naughty.
Right?
Yeah.
yeah.
And
So he's got a list of these fellas,
Exactly.
and he's running them down.
Exactly.
I love it.
And in the book, there's a little more clarity about this list. In fact, he has a little black book that he carries around with him with the names in it, and he keeps track of guys who go to prison for like spousal abuse
Right.
or whatever.
Right.
And then he also keeps track of when they're going to get out of jail.
Nice.
And who their parole officer is, so that he can keep up on them and keep track of them and make sure that they're not being naughty.
Mm-hmm.
And if he suspects that they are, this is the kind of stuff he does, where he'll just stalk them.
Right.
And if they step out of line, he's going to send them right back to prison.
Yeah.
It's corrupt, probably, and like outside of the bounds of his duties, right? But do we care?
No, I mean it's like we talked about the other episode. There's honor in it.
Yep.
You know what
Yep.
I mean?
Yeah.
And it's his honor. It's how he defines it.
Yeah. And he's taking the law into his own hands for sure.
And I was also struck as you told me about that in the book, like how I think that's indicative of like detective work and not police work. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like
Yes.
it really shows that he's destined for something better.
Yeah, he's organized. You
Yeah.
know, he's got a system
He's
sort of.
he's thinking things through appropriately.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I love that whole
They
list
could have
thing.
shown a little bit more of that in the film. Like even just one shot of that notebook with that information in it would have clued us into like how sort of diligent he is about minding this issue.
Right. Yeah. But it works fine without it, too.
It does.
Right? We get
it does. It totally does.
Yeah,
I'm just
so-
saying.
I hear you.
I mean, we're here to talk about it.
And that's what we're doing,
That's
goddammit.
Yeah.
So he beats up the guy, and then he gets his cuffs out and cuffs him to the railing,
Right to the railing.
which is great because
Yeah.
now Bud can freely walk away.
Yeah, that's right.
They'll find
Yeah.
him.
And the lady is safe. And,
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. So I want to talk about the lady,
Yeah.
if we might.
Of course.
So she comes out of the house. Nice lady.
Yeah.
Comes out, redhead, and she's like so frightened of the guy that and repulsed by him too.
Sure.
That she's kind of like backing. She's way
Yeah.
back
Yeah,
against
yeah.
the door and doesn't want to get too close to the tiger that's leashed up to the railing or whatever.
Absolutely.
And what are your thoughts on the lady? Like, I feel like that I've only asked it because I read something recently online. Someone was talking about LA Confidential. I don't know who. It was just some random person.
Okay.
And one of their criticisms of the film was that the leading actors are great,
Okay.
but the small parts are not so good. And so I'm watching so now I'm very fixated on the smaller parts, and I'm watching these actors and trying to figure out, are they bad? Are they good? Are they fine? Like, I never noticed it before the guy said that. So I think to me they're fine.
I think they're fine.
Yeah.
I actually kind of liked her take on like Merry Christmas, huh? I kind of
yeah.
liked it.
I like her. I do like the fact that she made it sort of a bold choice of like backing away from him. You know what I mean? It kind of raises the stakes on, this guy who does look like a bozo. It makes him seem even more dangerous than his sweater vest would make you think.
Yeah.
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 So I like it.
I like it too. I like her. I think the actor was great. I think the works in the scene.
Good.
I like all of it.
Rando criticism guy.
Yeah, that guy. I mean, he must be talking about that batshit lady,
Oh, maybe Mrs. Lefferts.
Mrs. Lefferts.
Who
yeah.
I love.
Yeah, no, I think she's also great.
She's
And I have
awesome.
opinions about her too.
Yeah,
so.
yeah.
Okay, yeah, but no, I think they're great. I think it's great.
Okay, good. I'll probably bring that up again as we hit other small.
My favorite
Characters.
extra small character.
Yeah.
Can I?
Yeah, please.
Because I just want to set the table for using this for the rest of the podcast.
Okay.
between the two of you should bring a photographer. My fucking favorite line in the film, maybe.
It's pretty good.
It's so good. It's so good. It's when Exley decides to go with Vincennes on the thing.
Yep.
And he's leaving his partner behind, and his partner's just like, between the two of you should take a photographer. I just think it's so good.
It is good.
Yeah.
I love that line.
I love it. All right.
Okay.
Now I can freely quote it.
Yeah. Anytime you want.
Anytime I want.
Yeah.
Because it's been established.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Elmo. So
That too has been established, kind of.
that's right.
Kind of.
So then the lady kind of creeps out of her house, and Bud takes the guy's wallet out of his back pocket,
Right.
and gives it to the lady with the money, whatever money's in it.
You got somewhere to stay. Thing.
Exactly. You
Yeah.
got somewhere you can go
Yeah.
or get yourself cleaned up.
Right.
Right. And she says, yeah. And then I love this little bit where he lifts the lighting strand
Yeah.
to let her go under it.
Yeah,
Such a
it's
gentleman.
nice touch.
Yeah, beautiful, gentlemanly touch to kind of just let her glide under the
Totally.
under that lighting strand.
Totally.
I love that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Yeah. And off she starts to go somewhere. And that was one of my questions is do we think we see a neighbor coming out of the house next door?
Yeah.
Do we think she's going to the neighbor, or there's also a car in the driveway? Or she like hop in the car and
always assumed
drive
she was
somewhere?
driving somewhere.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. Like, I'm not sure if she's going to go to the neighbor and get some help from them because
Maybe.
they know what's going
Maybe.
on. Right?
Yeah,
And
they
they're-
do. They must.
And the guy just got back 2 weeks ago from Quentin, so they probably have
That's right.
Some
And they
sympathy for her.
They heard the commotion
Exactly.
of the decorations and all that.
Yeah,
So,
they probably heard the commotion before that
probably
too.
even before that. Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Right.
So I don't know if I was unsure whether she's going to the neighbors or to the car. I guess it doesn't matter.
I like to think of her just tooling down the highway.
Yeah, getting
like
away from that
wind
guy.
in the hair.
Yeah,
You know what
yeah.
I mean? Setting
Yeah.
herself free.
Yeah.
Not just cowering at the neighbor's house.
That's true. That's
You
a
know
good
what I
point.
mean?
Yeah, I like that too.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Good. And then she, like you said, she says, "Merry Christmas, huh?" Went
Yeah.
back to Bud.
Yeah.
Bud. So now Bud is like so calm and sweet.
Yeah.
And he's
he
just-
exercised his demons.
Yeah,
And he's
yeah,
just
exactly.
like, this feels great.
Yeah.
This is why I do this.
Exactly. Merry Christmas, ma'am.
That's right.
Just matter of fact.
That's
just
right.
Sweet as honey.
And immediately Stens is like, come on, bud. Like, stop making nice with the lady. We got drinking to do.
That's right.
Yeah, no, that's a great moment. All of that. The lifting of the thing and the Merry Christmas, huh? That always
Yeah.
gets me. It's like, ugh, that
Yeah.
poor lady.
Yeah, on Christmas too,
Yeah, I
right?
know.
Like that's the whole thing. Right?
I know.
Yeah, it's sad.
It is.
But I do love that Stensland in this scene helps to like set up stuff that's going to happen later in the movie. Like
For sure.
earlier when he says, we got to go pick up the liquor, it's setting up their next scene.
Setting up
when
the
they're
next scene, yeah.
at the liquor store.
That's right.
And we got to get back to the guys. The guys will be
Meeting
waiting
with the
for
goddess,
us.
if you're following along in that way.
There you go.
Yeah.
And come on, bud. The guys are going to be waiting for us, which also kind of
You're right. It's like
Foreshadows-
he's stepping up the rest of the evening for them.
foreshadows Bloody Christmas.
That's right. Yeah.
So I like Stensland's contributions to the
He
scene.
really is. Yeah, he's guiding the scene kind of.
And
yeah.
he also represents the other cops in a way.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean?
All of
he
them.
is
Yeah.
exactly. He's
Yeah.
all those guys at Bloody Christmas who are getting hammered
Totally.
upstairs and then go down and beat up all the Mexicans.
Totally.
Like
Totally.
he embodies that whole like lazy,
Yeah.
drunk LA cop, corrupt LA cop guy
Yep.
thing.
Yep.
And he provides a good contrast with Bud.
Mm-hmm.
He's laughing, Bud not laughing. You know, Bud is
Sure
deadly
isn't. No.
serious.
Yeah.
I just love it. Yeah.
Yeah. It's really good.
Richard Dick Stensland,
Stensland.
ladies and gentlemen.
Stensland.
We just love Stens.
I really do.
Yeah. I do too.
He was a cop. He probably tried to do something. That's another great one.
It's a great one. You forget some of the great lines
Some
in
of
this
the,
movie.
it's so peppered with great lines like that throughout. It's
yeah,
really
it really
good.
is. It's really good. All right, so now that's Bud. So we wanted to do a little bit about old Russell Crowe.
Oh, Russell Crowe.
The actor.
As the
great
crow
actor.
flies.
Yeah, as the crow
Yeah,
flies.
uh-huh. That's my next podcast, by the way.
Oh, great. I wish you good luck with that.
Yeah, we don't need you. Me and Russell will be just fine.
I'm sure. Absolutely. I'm just weighing you down. Do we want to talk about a little bit about Russell Crowe?
Well, I sure do.
Because I know he was part of the reason you got into this movie in the first place,
This
right?
is that. I mean, I'd seen it. obviously, back in the day, loved it. Didn't think much of it again for quite a while. And then the pandemic happened, and we all did a lot of weird stuff during the pandemic.
Yeah.
I mean, we were just looking to fill moments with things that were not dread.
Right.
So that usually translated to movies or TV or music.
Yeah. Yeah.
For me.
Yep.
And I was looking to theme those watchings so I could not worry about the next thing. You know what I mean?
Right. You were sort of binging it within a theme.
Yes. If I could find a theme that would span 20 movies, I'm golden because I'll just do that.
Right.
Well, Russell Crowe became one of those inexplicably. I just wanted to see. I think it was like watching Inside Man, like watching the big ones. Right. Like watching The Insider, watching LA Confidential, watching some of these big Russell Crowe movies made me go like A Beautiful Mind, I think. It made me like want to contextualize his career in a way. So I just like started at the beginning with like these indie Aussie films he made. And there's like, one's a romantic comedy, one's super weird. There's this Romper Stomper movie, which got some acclaim.
Yes.
And so I just started and like, I understand his career less now after having seen it all than I did before. Like it's still inexplicable to me. I don't know what makes him good when he's good, and he's been very good.
Amazing, yeah.
And he's been really bad and stuff, and I don't know what's making him bad in those movies. I can't tell.
Yeah. Romper Stomper, I think, was the one that Curtis Hanson points to when he wanted to cast him in the movie. He saw Romper Stomper, was like, "Oh, I want that guy for Bud White."
He's very good in it. He's obviously got depth and stuff.
Yeah. So I remember that was what he said. So,
yeah.
I'd be curious to see that movie.
Yeah, it's good. It's worth watching anyway.
Okay.
I'll say that.
Cool.
Yeah. And so it took me down this whole rabbit hole. I've seen them all. Some of them are like you're just like, what is happening right now?
Like, I mean, are you talking about like? I know recently he's done some really strange choices.
Yeah, like this Road Rage movie.
Yes, that's the one. Yeah, it was like he's like a guy who just starts stalking a lady because she cut him off on a road or something. Is that what it's about?
It's kind of like that.
Wow.
I mean, that's what they want you to think.
Yeah, that was the marketing. Yeah, the trailer.
Yeah.
In a world where a lady cuts off a guy while driving.
But he's also been in some like, I can't pull the names of them right now. I should just bring up the IMDb, but he's been in some like long-haired dramas. Like, you know what I mean? Like he's been like romance cover style guy.
Yes.
And like, what?
Yeah.
This guy?
Right. Yeah, it's true.
It's really crazy.
Yeah.
It's really crazy.
And it's weird because like there was a time in his career, like shortly after LA Confidential, I think, right around the Gladiator, Beautiful Mind era, right? Where he was being nominated for Best Actor, like for whatever movie he was in.
Right.
Where he was like the box office draw. I mean, he was one of the very top of the line box office draws in the world.
During the Gladiator era?
Yeah,
of
exactly.
Course.
Yeah.
I mean,
And I even during that time, I was like, why this guy? You know what I mean? It's just like, I like him. I love watching him. But it was kind of like, I'm not sure I get I was always been confused by Russell Crowe a little bit.
And of course we can't not talk about Les Mis, the Les Mis movie.
Yeah, what happened there? And apparently the one of the things about the Les Mis movie was that everybody actually sings their parts, right? And he's singing Javert.
I mean, he is.
But there's got to be auto-tune or something going on, right? I mean, there's no way they would let that happen, right? I don't know. Maybe he has a lovely singing voice. Maybe he's like...
no, he does not. He clearly does not. No, I think...
maybe he's like Hugh Jackman and he's just like uber talented. He can do everything. You know?
I mean, yeah. And he was great in that. Like surprisingly good. Like incredibly good. But Russell Crowe should not have been in that movie. I just like... And I love the guy. I've seen everything he's ever done. It's just bananas.
It was just one of those movies where they're like, we're just going to throw everybody into one of these things and see what happens.
I mean, but what? He's the other guy that sings in like a lot.
Yeah, he does sing a lot. He has 2 huge soliloquies that he sings in the movie.
And no one loves Russell Crowe more than me. But like, we need a guy that can sing, though, right? Like that's what I would have been like. What? He's great and all, but
I also feel like his acting style doesn't fit musical theater. You know what I mean? Like he's so subtle that it just doesn't. It wouldn't. it wouldn't project properly.
I think you're right. But I will say, like, in moments where his singing wasn't totally taking me out, he was good. Like, I think his,
like, I think he fits the character. Like, if you did a play
his
version,
Javert is very good.
a movie version of Les Mis, the straight Les Miserables, the old novel, right?
Sure.
Put him as Javert, I'm in, 100%.
Liam Neeson and Jeffrey Rush did it.
That's right.
And it's great.
That's right. Yeah,
and
yeah,
it's
yeah.
phenomenal.
About the same time, too, right? Yeah.
Yeah, well, I think actually well before.
Okay.
Well in advance of the musical. But yeah, that's great. And he would have been a great Javert in a straight play version or a screenplay version. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know. Baffling. And there's a few that are baffling. But that's in his top 4, like, of the IMDb. I was going to ask you to play, but we already said 3 of them.
Oh, did we? Okay,
and then
let's play it.
Yeah, okay. All right.
So Gladiator,
That's
obviously.
right.
Les Mis. A Beautiful Mind.
That's right.
And then I'm going to go The Nice Guys.
No. But among my favorite movies.
I know you like that
Yeah,
one.
I love that movie. I think it's genius. Utter genius.
What's the one? I give up. I don't know.
Yeah, I bet it's written somewhere in front of you.
The Insider?
On one of those screens that you're staring at right now.
LA Confidential.
That's right. Yeah.
Oh, good. Well, that's
right.
good.
Yeah, it is good.
That's nice. I like that foursome then.
Yeah,
that's
it's great.
Good.
It's great.
All right, good.
It's really good. Yeah. And Russell Crowe is like, he continues to be an enigma.
Yeah.
Like, artistically for me, but I'll always see what he does.
Yeah.
Like, right now he's in something and he's like 612 pounds and I'm like, what's happening with this guy? Like, I'm fascinated.
He did some sort of an Exorcist movie where he's the priest, you know what I mean? And he is 600 pounds in that too. I think it is just, yeah, I don't understand what happened with his career. I mean, did he do something? Did we miss it? You know what I mean? Like, it
like,
feels
did he
like
get silently Me Too'd? Is that what you're saying?
that's
like
something,
like that?
yeah, where they just didn't want to hire him anymore, or
Yeah,
he just,
I
I don't know. Was he asking for too much money and I have no idea what happened. Did he make some clunkers?
I mean, and he made that Robin Hood movie? That couldn't have helped him.
That was a clunker.
That was a clunker.
That may have been it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, there were highlights after that, but on the downslide.
Yeah.
You know?
But I do wonder.
Like Man of Steel, for example.
Oh, yeah. He was Kal-El, right?
He is it
Jor-El? Jor-El. He was Jor-El. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Trying to do the Brando.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think, but well done.
Was he good?
Yeah, he was very good.
Okay.
Yeah. I actually like that movie. I don't say that too loudly.
I know you
but
do
it's
like that
good.
movie. Yeah.
I think they nailed it.
Is that the one with Kevin Spacey too?
No.
No. Okay.
No, that one's an abomination.
Oh.
It truly is.
Yeah, so I don't know. Like, I was thinking earlier that he didn't really ever branch out into superhero movies, but he did.
Well, he did there, yeah.
And I feel like, was he in any of the big Marvel movies? I can't even remember. Like,
he might have been in a
Thor. Or something like
yeah,
that.
he might have been in a Thor.
That fits. Like, he would be some Asgardian.
But
dude.
it's a tiny little thing that he does in it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway.
But like Robin Hood, okay, he tries to branch out into it. This is like an action movie that should be an easy sell.
Easy for him too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But although he doesn't really fit the physical, at least what I picture of someone as being Robin Hood. I picture someone who's like small and lean and wiry and they kind of fast and quick. Yeah. Witty. What was that?
Wiry.
Wiry? Wiry.
So a Scottish guy will say wiry. Weedy.
See, I got you. Okay. Or wiry. Yeah, the skinny guy, who uses arrows and doesn't use brute strength and kind of thing.
That's right.
So he's got Little John to be like, you give me Russell Crowe as Little John.
Little John, now we're talking.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So
no, miscast.
Yeah, maybe that was the problem.
Miscast. But like throughout, like there's 10 movies that are great that we haven't even talked about.
Like,
should I run through them or stop at each one?
Let's pick out a few. Yeah, go ahead. Give me some.
All right. So we got American Gangster.
Oh yeah, of course.
Right?
Yeah, that's a great movie.
He's great in that.
Yeah, that's fun. Him against Denzel. That's
him and Denzel,
one.
right?
Yeah, that's a good one.
3:10 to Yuma.
Okay.
That movie's quirky, but he's good in it.
Now, does he play the sheriff or the bad guy?
He plays the good guy.
The good guy. Yeah. Okay.
That's right.
And I've seen parts of that one. I've seen the original 3:10 to Yuma, the old version.
Yeah.
With Van Heflin or whoever it is.
Ben Wade is the character name.
Yeah, Ben Wade. Yeah. And it's pretty good. And then I've seen some of the newer one, but I haven't seen the whole thing, so I might have to go back and check that out.
Right. It's good. It's
Yeah.
good. It's quirky.
Yeah,
I
I
won't
saw
say
the-
it's not quirky.
I saw the final shootout, and it seemed way over the top.
Yeah.
I'm sure if I watch it from the beginning, it'll set that up.
It's
but
a
it
little
seemed-
better. Yeah, it's a little
yeah.
better than just taking it out of context like
Yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah.
Then you got your Cinderella Man, your Master and Commander, your Beautiful Mind, your Gladiator, your Insider. Like that run of
Really good.
4 or 5 years of movies. Like he's unbeatable.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, Master and Commander is a damn good movie.
Yeah, it is.
It really is.
It really. That's why I called it out as one of the good ones. It's
Yeah.
like it's really good.
It is good. He's good in it.
He totally is.
And Cinderella Man I haven't seen, but I know that's good too.
Oh, you haven't seen it?
No.
I mean, it caught heat a lot later for being what's the word? Apocryphal. Like
Oh. Because it was based on a real person,
yeah, it was. Yeah.
but it wasn't
Jim Braddock.
completely true to.
It was not at all.
Got it.
No.
Well, that's
Yeah.
okay. That's
and they
movies.
made the opposing fighter was made out to be much more of an evil person than
Sure.
he actually was.
Well, that's Hollywood, ain't
That's
it?
that's what they do.
That's what
isn't
they
it?
do. Yeah, it's all it is.
It's like a stock in trade, actually, isn't it?
It's,
Isn't it? Isn't that what they do?
that's their purview, isn't it?
I miss Troy. What else?
And then
What
The
else?
Insider. Did you say The Insider?
I
during
did,
that?
I did,
Which
I
is
did.
I think that may be my favorite Michael Mann movie.
Wygant.
Which is saying a lot.
Wygant.
Jeff Wygant.
Yeah,
I love Jeff
Wygant.
Wygant.
No, he's great in it.
Oh my God.
He's really like he's playing like a spectrum-y person, right? Like for lack of a better, we weren't saying it then. It wasn't Rain Man, but
Right.
he's like he has like troubles dealing with interpersonal.
with conflict, I think, really.
Well, it seems like any interpersonal exchange is like he's on his heels. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? He wants out of it.
Yeah, like even in his class, when he's
Right.
teaching his class, he's
Right.
very sort of
Exactly.
shy and reserved
Exactly.
and stuff.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. No, I think he's fantastic in that movie. He's really the sort of heart and soul of that movie.
Agreed.
It's great.
Despite Al's flailings.
Right. Well, Al as the other part of that movie, which is
Yeah, he's
he's
he's the
trying-
raw emotion. And
Yeah, yeah.
Wygant is the stoic wall.
yeah, that's great. I love
and
that
they
movie.
and they keep hitting each other, and I just have to say it, like that scene in the restaurant where he's on the phone, he's like, "Sell you out, Jeffrey? What are you talking about?" What are you talking about? It's so good. It's so good. I love it.
It's great. Yeah,
Uh,
and it's got plenty of like Michael, even though it's not a whole, it's a little different for Michael Mann because there's no like thieves and like action in it kind of thing.
There's
Underbelly,
no
some-
long cars on the highway shots.
Yeah.
yeah.
But it still has plenty of Michael Manny kind of moments where there's like
100%,
music
yeah.
playing and
Right.
people thinking and that kind of thing. And
I think
really
it's
good.
I think it's a great film, and it seems very much in the Michael Mann. But what you like you saying, like with a little departure here and there.
Yeah,
from
exactly.
some of the stock stuff.
Yeah, I love it though. It's a great movie.
I agree.
And
And then yeah, he goes back to like his first credits are like 72. So like
Wait, 1972?
yeah.
Come on.
So he must have been a kid actor in
Australia?
Yeah.
Wow. I
Yeah.
had no idea he was putting shrimps on the Barbie all the way back then. He must be older than I thought too.
How old do you think he is?
I don't know, 50 something?
How old do you think he is? Where do they put these on the page? It's here somewhere. Hold on. Where?
Well, I remember when he was in LA Confidential, he and Guy Pearce were both very young. In fact, way younger than Kim Basinger. They were in there. I can't remember who was the youngest. Might have been Guy Pearce.
Uh-huh. That seems right.
Of the whole cast,
Yeah.
basically. And
Okay.
then Russell Crowe was like 4 years older than him, I think.
Okay.
But I think Russell Crowe was only like 29 when he did LA Confidential.
Huh.
But I could be wrong about
Well, he's
that.
60 now.
He's 60.
Yeah.
Okay.
So close.
So 60, he was born in 75?
Yeah.
No, 65.
65.
65.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he would have been 35 in 2000 minus 3, 27.
Yeah.
He was 27 when
There
he
it
did
is.
LA Confidential.
How
yeah.
about it?
How about that? And Kim Basinger was 40 something, 41, I think,
Mm-hmm.
or 44, something like that. So there's quite the age difference.
Yeah.
But you don't really mind it. You know what I mean? Like I don't, at least I don't. And you don't really notice it. For
I
one
didn't
thing.
notice it. No.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
it kind of works.
Yeah, it does.
So that's good.
Yeah.
And I can't think of anything Russell Crowe did that's like he's not a like a glory hound. Like he's not out there, attracting attention and doing crazy shit. He seems kind of a private guy.
He had some paparazzo troubles when he was at the height of his popularity, but who doesn't?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I think he punched a guy or something.
Hey, come on.
But that's just feeding the lore a little bit, right?
Exactly.
Like
If
I'm
you're gonna
fucking Russell fucking Crowe, man.
You're going to make a Russell Crowe omelet. You're going to have to break a few cameras.
Or a Crussell Rowe omelet.
Oh, that sounds delicious. A crust omelet.
Crussell Rowe omelet. You're right. And he was probably hawked night and day and night.
Yeah.
And who among us would not break under that kind of pressure?
Like for example, I don't know. I can't name you like one romantic fling that was in the press. You know what I mean?
Right,
That was
that's
like,
true.
I have no idea who he's married to, who his girlfriends were, if he was with starlets or
you're
whatever.
right. He does.
I have no idea.
He's
so
close to the vest on that stuff.
Yeah. So that kind of also adds to the lure, I think, and makes him, kind of fascinating.
Yeah.
And he's really good. I mean, in those movies we talked about, in A Beautiful Mind was like the one where people were like, I mean, Gladiator, he won Best Actor, I think, for Gladiator.
I think you're right. Yeah.
Which is bonkers. If I mean, I don't know who he was up against that year. I guess we can find out. But that seems crazy.
It does. It does seem crazy
for Gladiator.
I mean, yeah. I think we were all just hypnotized by the cod pieces or whatever. I think it doesn't even hold up. Did you see this new one?
No, Gladiator 2.
I didn't either, but I want to.
I want
to see Denzel.
Do you? Yeah, you want to see Denzel?
I do. I really
Denzel is intriguing, but the whole thing seems like such a nostalgia, power, money grab thing.
Yeah, it might be.
It makes me very nervous.
It might be that.
But I don't know. It could be really good. What do I know?
I'm
trying to find out who. Well, that's not right at all.
Best actor in a lead role, Gladiator.
Oh, you got it? Yeah,
nominated for Beautiful Mind.
Oh.
And nominated for The Insider.
Oh.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Those are his Academy nods.
Okay. And I should have, in my opinion, if he should have won for anything, it would have been, A Beautiful Mind is a good performance, for sure.
It is. No, it is.
So I have no quarrel with that.
Yeah.
But The Insider.
And it's kind of like, it's like Oscar fodder, like Insanity, or, you know what I mean? Like, never go full retard. You know what I'm quoting there?
What was that? Never go. Oh my God.
I was quoting a movie.
What movie is that?
Funny. Tropic Thunder.
Oh, Tropic Thunder. Okay. Yeah. I still haven't seen that. I know you recommended it to me, but I still haven't caught it. But you were saying.
I was saying. It has that Oscar
the
vibe
Insider.
to it.
Yeah.
A Beautiful Mind, I'm saying.
A Beautiful Mind, yeah, it has that prestige.
It's got that certain sheen that is like, this is an Oscar nom movie, clearly.
Exactly. Yeah. All right, well, here's the nominees for Best Actor when he won for Gladiator.
Okay.
Javier Bardem for Before Night Falls.
Fascinating.
Didn't see it.
Nope.
Jeffrey Rush for Quills.
Okay.
Which was like a period drama of some sort. I don't know.
We did Quills at the Wilma a million years ago. And yeah.
Ed Harris for Pollock.
Okay.
He was brilliant.
Solid.
Yeah.
Solid.
Really good.
Very good performance in that.
And then surprisingly, he beat this gentleman, Tom Hanks, in Castaway.
Oh.
Where he is the whole fucking movie.
He is the whole fucking movie.
You know?
Yeah.
So I'm surprised that Hanksy didn't win the award that year.
I guess I am too, but we had given him too many. We had like blown our load on Hanks. Heyo.
You're right, though. Yeah, I think you're right. There was a little bit of Hanks fatigue.
Imagine the great comedic face that Tom Hanks would make if you blew your load on him. No! Oh!
Oh my God.
Enjoy that.
Gives a whole new meaning to bosom buddies.
Working blue today. Working blue today.
But that, I mean, the other, Ed Harris and Pollock was really good. But the other two, I didn't see those movies, and I'm not probably going back to view them either.
I think if strength of schedule is part of this decision, I think it's Castaway.
Yeah.
And I think if you know what I mean by that, like the hardest of those jobs.
Yeah, the degree of difficulty.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah.
Thank you. That's what I was trying to say.
Yeah, the degree of difficulty for Hanks because
Much higher.
Yeah. I mean, a guy alone on a deserted island for 2 hours
Be
or
engaging
whatever.
forever.
Yeah. Crazy.
Yeah. That's baffling. That's an interesting take
It is interesting.
to go this way.
Yeah. And of course, he won for A Beautiful Mind as well.
Of course.
Which, like
That's
you
the
said.
one that has the juice.
It does. It's got the prestige role, and it's a movie Hollywood kind of loves when these true stories and it's inspirational. It's a man overcoming,
That's
his
what I was saying.
his ghosts and his problems to be a brilliant mathematician and blah blah blah. Yeah, fine, great.
Right.
Ron Howard directed it.
Of
the
course,
whole thing.
of course.
It's got all that stuff going
Also,
for it.
Cinderella Man. So they had a decent working
Oh,
relationship.
interesting. Yeah,
Yeah.
I guess they did.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Huh.
Get me Russell. I got another script I'm working on.
And I just wanted to share the little tidbit. I think I mentioned this to you privately. I don't know if I talked about it on the podcast or not, but I will now. The bit about there's two things. One of the things Russell Crowe said about working on LA Confidential is he said one of the most painful things of the LA Confidential character I played was that the author James Ellroy kept telling me that Bud White wasn't a drinker. I said, "Come on, this is 1953. He's a blue-collar bloke, a cop. You're telling me he doesn't sit around
Everyone's
with the boys?
a fucking drinker. Right?
Yeah, you don't tell me he doesn't sit around with the boys after a shift and have a beer?" And Ellroy says, "Absolutely not." So for 5 months and 7 days, Russell Crowe didn't have a drink.
Wow.
He says, probably the most painful period of my life.
Amen, Russell Crowe. Maybe that's the connection. Then maybe
For you
that's
and
why
him?
I'm seeking out Russell Crowe.
Maybe that's it. Yeah.
That guy's a drinker. You can just tell.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
And Curtis Hanson provided lots of background information on the characters to his actors, and he told Russell Crowe that Bud White did not drink beer because beer is a social drink, and White was not the type to socialize.
Mm-hmm.
He told him that White drinks whiskey, but only does so on his own.
On his own.
Yeah.
At home.
Yep.
Alone.
I guess he could do it in a bar alone.
Alone.
Yeah, alone though. Yeah.
I like to see him at home.
At home alone?
I like to think of him at home alone.
Okay.
With his hands on his cheeks
Kevin!
in the mirror. No, I love all that. I have one thing that I found.
Okay.
Russell Crowe, in some interview in 2013, said, no, that year isn't right. In some interview, he said there are two movies he had done that he was really hoping for sequels to.
Uh-huh.
One of them was Nice Guys, which I get because that's a super fun movie and they probably had a blast making it.
I wouldn't be surprised if we still got a sequel to that.
We might.
Yeah.
We might. It's like it's growing in popularity in its streaming life.
Yeah,
and it is
exactly.
really good. It is really, really good. Anyway, our movie, LA Confidential, is his other choice for a sequel. He would have loved to have continued on in the Bud White genre.
Beating guys up. Yeah. I mean, who would want to continue playing Bud White? You know what I mean?
I don't know, but is he in Arizona with Lynn Bracken?
Yeah.
Like, what is that the sequel?
I don't know. That's a good question.
Maybe just a standalone universe movie about Bud White
Yeah, there you go.
after LA Confidential.
Or before even.
Or before.
Yeah.
Before would be more intriguing, probably.
Yeah.
After is a little less. It's
Yeah.
anticlimactic.
Yeah, you'd have to have some climax.
There'd have to be a new conflict.
Yes. Yeah.
New
something.
conflict for Bud.
Yeah. I don't know.
I don't know either.
But I mean, the book is
Dudley
full of
White's
stuff.
kid. If we're writing this in the Star Wars universe.
Yeah, right. And we learn Lynn Bracken.
Dudley Jr.
Lynn Bracken is secretly his sister.
We must have a clarification session one of these times. Dudley Smith Jr. coming and knocking.
Oh, man.
Boy, oh boy.
All right. So the other one, this tidbit I told you before, and I'm not sure if I shared it on the podcast or not, but James Ellroy describes the character of Bud White as the biggest cop on the Los Angeles force. Noting that he wasn't even 6 foot tall, Crowe decided to move into an apartment that was so small they had to duck to get into the doorways and could barely stand up. Crowe said that this worked in making him feel like a giant, so by the time he came on the set to shoot, he felt really big and could act like he was really big.
I mean, look. I guess whatever gets you there, man. You want to go live in a tiny house? Do it. I don't know. What do I say to that?
I don't know. It's
How do you feel about that?
very Methodist.
It seems silly.
Yeah,
It seems on the frivolous side.
Yeah, it seems like you're putting yourself through a lot of trouble. Maybe for nothing. I mean, I don't know.
Try acting, dear boy. Like, you know what I mean? What are you living in a tiny house for?
Yeah. Maybe he could just buy clothes that were a little too small. Maybe that would make you feel big. You know, like you can't fit in your clothes. You're ripping out of all your pants all the time.
And now
and stuff.
all his clothes are a little too small.
No, that,
Russell, I kid because I love.
all right. I feel like we've.
But seriously, try a salad sometime. Not going to kill you.
All right. I feel like we've wrapped on this pretty good.
I think we gave it the old beat down.
We really did. But it leads me to a question and something we've been wanting to get to on this podcast for a while.
Okay.
And we haven't quite gotten to it yet, which is one of the goals of this podcast is to find out why you're so obsessed with LA Confidential.
It's true.
And part of what got you into it in the first place was the Russell Crowe thing.
That was it.
So maybe that's something, right? There's something there. But I have another little inkling of a theory I wanted to share.
You know I love this.
In a new segment that we like to call Zumbo's Obsession.
Obsession, Zumbo's obsession. Can you please give us a clue how this film got to you? Zumbo's obsession.
All right.
Right.
So this is just a very small inkling of a theory that is something that I noticed. It may get us somewhere. It may not. I don't know. I don't know anymore. I wanted to share it.
$1.
Does that count?
I think it does.
Okay. All right. Fine. $1. All right. And this came from watching or thinking about another movie that I know you really love and noticing some similarities.
Do tell.
Yes. So the other movie is The Untouchables.
Oh, yeah. I mean, yeah.
Right?
Top 5 for me.
Yeah. Great movie.
Yeah.
And I was thinking that the character arc of both Elliot Ness and Ed Exley is very similar.
Uh-huh.
They start out the movie wanting to be pure and follow the law.
That's right.
And stay within the boundaries of the law.
That's absolutely right.
But at the end, they become what they beheld, and they do the things that their mentor earlier in the movie told them they would have to do in order to get the bad guy.
Yeah. What are you prepared to do?
Yeah, what are you prepared to do? And he lays right out for him. Somebody brings a knife, you bring a gun.
That's right.
He sends one to your hospital, you send him to the morgue.
Fight dirty back.
And Dudley does the same thing with Exley, where he says, are you willing to
You're
shoot a guy in the
absolutely right.
back in order to make sure you get a conviction?
Bill, there is something here. There is something here.
And they both resort to murder at the end, right? So like Kevin Costner throws Nitty off the building and it feels really good about it. And then Exley, finally decides there's no recourse because Dudley's going to get away with it. The only thing he can do is shoot him in the back.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. And it's what Dudley said he would have to do to become a cop.
Exactly.
Really do that job. You'd have to be willing to do those things.
Exactly. And then he finally does it at the end. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I love this. I love this theory. I think it's brilliant. I wonder how you came up with it.
I don't know.
Is this a chat GPT theory?
No, it's not. I came up with this all on my own. I think I was watching The Untouchables, and it just kind of struck me.
It clicked in there.
Or LA Confidential, one or the other, and it just clicked for me.
Ed Exley is very much an Elliot Ness. 100%. And I think both of them trying to be the right way, knowing inevitably that you will have to not be that person, that good-hearted person at some point. That's a very meaningful path to me.
Oh.
I mean, they both sort of lean into their dark side a little bit.
Yes.
They don't totally sacrifice themselves to it. They're still good people.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
They have just done this thing that until that point they had not had to do. And then when you get to that point and you are faced with that choice and you do the wrong thing, it doesn't make you a bad person.
Right, right.
And I think that is what is drawing me to this film so much. And The Untouchables.
Maybe there are choices in your life where you felt like
there are.
You had to do something
1,000%
dishonorable in the moment, or it, out of context seems dishonorable, but in the big picture is the only honorable thing you could do.
I've just swallowed hard twice. If that's not like, that's a 2 swallow hard situation you just laid out for me. And if that's, like, that's 2 of 3 swallows.
Damn.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. That's a big one. That's a big one. Now we'll call that a moment of clarity. We'll call that an epiphany. And we'll call that good looking out on your part.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, I do think it's that dipping the toe into the depravity a little bit, into the corruption, leaning into that because you're forced to.
Yeah. Yeah.
I do feel like I've had to do that.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Emotionally.
Okay. Yeah.
Not professionally.
You haven't murdered anybody that we know of.
Not yet.
No, right. Yeah.
But it's coming.
Yeah. Well,
it's coming.
Hopefully this podcast will end with somebody's murder.
You don't work 30
point.
years in the theater without hiding a body. You know what I'm saying? You just don't do it. Eventually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm glad it hasn't happened yet.
And
That's
I got
good.
guys. I got hide a body guys.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Well, then you're set.
I'm all set. I'm all set. You didn't make the cut. I hope you understand.
No, that's fine.
It was a travel consideration more than anything.
Yeah, it would be inconvenient for me to come down here and hide a body. I'd do it. Of course I would do
have
it.
to wait for you.
If you asked me, I would do it. But yeah, the rigor mortis is going to set in during the drive and all that kind of thing. So yeah, I see.
I just don't. I don't know you being like. I can't see you being gung ho about that kind of. I think you'd be like, you got me out of my pajamas, Zumbo. I mean, I'm here, but I don't like it. I'm not happy about it. I will make you regret having asked me to do this.
Yeah,
for the rest of our life
yes,
together.
Yes, that's what I would do. I would definitely lord it over you, for sure, for the rest of all time.
Remember the time you made me hide a body with you?
And I don't know I'd be really good help anyway, hiding the body. I don't know where to put it, for one thing. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I'm thinking of like burning or something, maybe some, but I don't know where we find a high enough.
Are you building a pyre?
That's what I'm saying. I don't know where we can find where we could quickly get a high enough temperature oven to really do the job.
Yeah, no, we'd have to.
I'd bring my air fryer down, but I don't think it goes beyond 400.
We'd have a lot of cutting in our future if we were going the air fryer way.
We would.
A lot of chopping. And dicing.
But think how crispy everything would be when it was done.
It tastes like chicken. This designer tastes like chicken.
Just put some butter on the face and you're ready for dipping.
That's a full circle situation. I love it. We got to go out on that.
Okay,
Are we
good.
done?
I think we're done. Do you think we're done?
I think we're done.
I feel great.
I feel great
good.
too.
Well, this was really fun.
It really was.
And next time, we got another one coming for you, which is going to be hot and cool and full of lead.
I was feeling so good. And now I'm back to feeling like I usually feel.
Well, let's get out of here then.
Please.
All right. Well, thanks everybody for listening. We'll be back at you soon.
Bye.
Bye.